I'm uncomfortable doing videos, and I don't know what I'm planning to do with this, but I feel like it's worth posting since I'm currently not doing anything. All mine is just do something, I guess. Anyways, my grandfather just died, but roughly little over a week ago, and it was tough. He collapsed on the dancing floor on a cousin's wedding, and he was, I believe, clinically dead for little over a couple of minutes. Then he started to breathe again, and they got him to where he was breathing again. Thank God the guy who was there was a firefighter and he has some knowledge of CPR. Plus, some cousins were attending a medical school and they were nurses themselves, licensed nurses. So I guess he was pretty lucky to have those people there. Um, I just didn't expect that the following couple of days would result of him immediately after surgery completely just deteriorated and being on life support. It was a visceral feeling knowing that the end was coming for him and that this sweet man who I've known for all my life was going to cease to exist. And I was in complete shock. In some ways, I'm still trying to process the loss of him, but I think that the pain would will never go away. I kind of just figure that you just have to learn to make space for it. Give it space to breathe so that I can so that it can go at peace at that place that you made space for. He really was a sweet guy. He was never really mean or malicious. Worked his whole life, and he never asked much. I don't think he ever borrowed money that he didn't need. And what I mean by that is that Later in his life, he needed money, but it was because he was in a really difficult situation. Later in his life, he just couldn't work anymore, and he just tried to ask for money from all the family members. And anyways, I think I'm getting sidetracked. I think his death made me realize that I don't know exactly what I'm doing with my life. And I think for a while I known a little bit inside of me that I don't care. And it's a scary feeling to know that you feel that way, because it's a numbness, but not a serious one. That very deep inside of you, you don't really care if your life gets wasted. Maybe I'm glad of that. Maybe I found some solace in to believing that there is a peace when you relinquish all of those expectations that you must meet. It's just the way he died, it kind of shocked me to the core. It made me realize that maybe I'm onto something. Maybe this feeling that has fully resurfaced because of this deal, this difficult passing of a grandparent, first time that I've ever experienced one. I am lucky that I'm 25 years old and I still have four of my grandparents alive. I don't think a lot of people that age still have them completely. So I got lucky. That's all. Uh, yeah. I still don't know. I'm still undecided about the fact that I'm feeling this way. That I pretty much don't care where my life goes, and it's quite satisfying to the point that it makes me feel worried because for the first time I'm letting go slowly. At first, it was probably my career. I wanted to be a watchmaker, and I went into a business that allowed me to pursue that apprenticeship, which later it just didn't turn the way I wanted. Um, Very good people that knew their stuff for sure, but I guess it just wasn't meant to be. And it kind of broke me in a way. Sometimes I just don't like to add too many details to my life, but fuck it. So when I decided to quit that job, I tried to go to another jewelry company. Can't believe I'm saying this, but yeah, I pretty much had to lie to them at my original um, job that I was just gonna go with my father and start like a landscaping business. But very deep down, I was deeply unsatisfied. I knew that I wasn't going where I wanted to go, and it's just something about there's just something about waiting for someone to give you the right knowledge to pursue the things you want, and they control the time when you have to learn them. And I guess it's there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that I guess I'm just really impatient and like to find things my own way. It's a nasty habit because even though it makes me very curious and in a way that's very good, I tend not to wait for the better things that come with patience and perseverance. But I don't think that was the biggest issue I had. I think it's just an overall things were just not the same anymore. And after the after I left that job, I went to another one, and I tried to convince myself that this is truly what I wanted, and I thought I was happy, but I guess time after time I kept messing up. I think until one day they just had to set me down with the boss and the regional manager. I think that was her role, anyways. I felt such deep shame within me right after they scolded me and pretty much told me that I am just not doing well and I am just screwing up a lot of jobs. Uh, to give a little more, to give more detail, I was my job was polishing rings and stuff like that. Nothing too complicated. I decided to switch from watchmaker to a jeweler. But you start as a polisher because that's uh, very, say, quote, simple. Although I think I'm not doing it justice by calling it that. I'm sure there's so many techniques and a lot of stuff, but just to keep it on, just to not, just to simplify, it's what I started with anyway. So they sat me down, and all that happened, and I just felt deep shame because I was fucking up the thing that I truly loved and respected and hoped for and to become that, but all of a sudden I just get told that I am not doing a good job and just keep screwing up everything and making everybody work extra to fix my mistakes. Kind of broke me down and really made me ashamed of myself. And it's a horrible feeling. And God, jeez, oh man, one of my legs just numbed up. It fell asleep. That's oof. I hate it when that happens. Oh boy. Oh yeah. Ah, what a way to interrupt the video. think I'm fine now. So, anyways, after that happened, I just got completely demoralized. I just didn't want to do anything. I went home and just slept so long. I think I was, for a good time, depressed for a couple of weeks. Then I found another job and completely unrelated to what I was trying to do. And I think something very liberating started to happen. I became, in a way, more cynical about things, which is not something that I was intended to do. But with that, it came as a strange feeling of liberty. You free your mind out of the programming of that this is what you must do, and there is no other way but to do this. And lucky enough, I was earning really good money. Um, Money that I just didn't expect I was ever going to earn, because that's how I was not expecting to ever make a lot of money for something I wasn't passionate about. I truly did believe that if you do what you love, you will never have to work a day in your life. I'm starting to come to that realization that eventually the thing that you love becomes the work that you dread for. So I tried a good while to sit myself down and think what I wanted at the moment, and I think I just wanted a break from expectations. I grabbed that job, and it was a seasonal job. I grabbed that job because I knew that I just didn't want to commit to anything. Didn't want to make a career out of anything I was trying to put my mind into. I was just trying to grab a paycheck and go home and think and sleep. I've always felt tired because of I tend to overthink everything. Over analyzing things really wear you down. And I I tried my best to care about the job, but I didn't. And some part of me felt this guilty pleasure of I don't have to commit to anything because my heart isn't there. Therefore, I don't owe them anything. And the moment I realized that is that I think I feel content, and I'm glad I came to that realization. Afterwards, I moved to another job, and eventually, it stopped paying as well as it used to. And and that's kind of when my grandfather died. So in those following days, I was going to work and stuff like that. And when they told me that they were going to unplug him, I didn't even think like, oh my god, am I going to juggle work and the situation? I mean, there was no question. I just knew I'm just gonna take as long as possible to recover from this and be there for my family. And I remember that I just shoot them a message about I'm just gonna go to a funeral, and they completely ignored me. I I was kind of expecting it. I mean, at this point, that since I lost my passion for the thing I was working for, every job I ever since, I just didn't care. So I wasn't even surprised when they just ignored my text message. I knew what was gonna happen. I knew they didn't care, and I'm glad that they didn't care, because I sure as hell didn't. You know what? I don't regret anything. Afterwards, they fired me, and And I was so glad I was at the funeral. I cried, everybody cried. I'm glad I was able to get all those tears out and get this euphoric feeling of release, of this grieving. That's something I'm forever thankful that I decided to do. And yeah, I'm pretty much trying to apply to another job. Um, I just took the drug test screening and the physical, and I've just been accepting a bunch of jobs, and I think it's really nice because I used to view picking out a company and stuff like that yada as you have to commit to one company and really put it your all and really think that this is where I'm gonna stay for the rest of my life. So it feels great because it's kind of like I feel like a mercenary. I am trying to look for the highest wage, the highest contract, the highest salary, no matter what. And I don't get too stressed because I've always been quite good at saving up money and having a good emergency money amount. So I'm not stressing about that right now. It's a true beauty to realize the freedom that lies with you don't belong anywhere. Therefore, you can be anywhere. You're not defined by the place you work at. And I'm glad that I'm part of a generation that focuses on um, mental health and looking at after yourself first because I I don't think companies do, and I'm sure of that. They got rid of pensions almost completely. A few professions do. Government jobs still have them in some aspects, but there's no security. And what happens when you don't have security? And an employee is just gonna stop and think to themselves like, "Hey, it just doesn't make sense. Be here. I kind of just took this job because it would take away the risk factor. I'm, and what am I here for? I must just start my own thing. In fact, I should do what I was passionate about, but I was always too scared to pursue because of risk. And what these greedy corporations are doing is inadvertently releasing people out of their fear. I guess I should say that there's always fear, but now there's truly nothing holding them back to pursue the things that they want because either way they're gonna sink. So you might as just give it a try. Fight for what you want. And you know what? I think someday I will pursue something that I'm truly passionate about and that gives me the freedom that I want. And and I'm content right now. Don't think that I've been feeling strange, even though I just told you that a lot of hard things have happened in my life. Yeah, I'm kind of shook, but I'm also at peace. I live a good life. It's a quiet life. I'm not rich, nor am I homeless or helpless. I have everything I need to survive, and I am completely content with the fact that I don't care if I am nobody because everything I've ever wanted is within myself. And with that realization, it came a washing feeling of completeness. There's still battles. I still fight with the deep sadness of the atrocities and realities of life, and that the human experience comes with a tremendous amount of pain and suffering. But that doesn't mean you have to suffer more than the usual. Learn to ride the waves because they're coming. I wish I could lie to you and say that no, there's this way you can avoid it. There isn't. You're gonna die. I'm gonna die. Everybody's gonna die. And that's okay. We will all just become ashes in the wind, and we will become or be transformed into something else. And and I don't know about God. I don't know if I'm gonna go somewhere. It's a nice thought, the whole concept of heaven, of Christian version of heaven. It's a nice thought. It's a good feeling, but philosophically speaking, there comes a lot of things with it that I just don't make sense to me, and I'm conflicted about. But I guess that's just another video. If I ever feel like doing another video, which I doubt, I'm gonna make another video. Like I said, I don't know what I'm doing with this. So don't expect anything from me, and yeah, just don't expect I'm gonna do anything else. One thing about me is that I am unbelievably inconsistent. But I'm glad I'm doing this video. Because you know what? I have no expectations about this, so I'm gonna just post it on YouTube and see what happens. I'm genuinely curious if someone is going to share their thoughts and feelings, and I mean, hopefully agree or disagree. I think it's healthy to see different points of view. But anyways, I think I'm done with my video. So um, definitely definitely think about what I just said. And if you have something to say, just leave a comment. Anyways, um, yeah. Goodbye.